Hey guys, okay, so I'm here again on my YouTube channel and I want to share with you choosing the right budgeting system. I did not know there were so many. I always thought that there was just one way and then everybody just kind of threw their spin on it. But as I kept looking and looking, I noticed that there was a couple different ways of doing it. And I think this is kind of where I had to try and find a system that worked for me, because if I tried one way, I was like, that's not going to work for how we get paid. I had to try it a different way. Had I known there were so many ways and they each have their own little job, I probably wouldn't have wasted so much time trying to find the right budgeting system. So I want to share with you guys how to choose the right budgeting system. I've been budgeting now for about 18, 20 months. And it took me a while to finally find a groove and all that. So I'm hoping these little tips help you kind of narrow it down a little bit. So the first one, and I know the budgeting systems are all set up so you can evaluate and see your relationship with money, right? That's the point of budgeting. You have to kind of see where you're at and then see how you value your money and where it's going. So then before you even do any budgeting, you want to figure out what you value and what you want to accomplish, right? In this system that you're finding. Do you want to pay off debt? Do you want to decrease your spending? Do you want to balance all your expenses, save for a down payment, retirement, all that kind of stuff? So you really need to ask yourself before choosing a budgeting system, what do you value and what do you want to accomplish? So think of these as your financial wishes, your financial goals, and really think about what you hope to get accomplished with your money. So the first budget system is called the 50-30-20 system. And this is where you break up your income, monthly, weekly, whatever, into three major categories. And that's your necessities, your wants, and your savings. And this can really help you if you want to pay down debt, you want to save for future expenses, and it covers, save for future expenses, vacations, whatever, but it also helps you cover the majority of your expenses with that 50%. I find this to be super simple. I have tried this. Unfortunately, our income doesn't work where it is consistent. So where I can know every paycheck is going to be delegated this way. But if you're someone who has a salary, I think, if you're a salary employee and you crave simplicity, 50-30-20 is what you really need to look at. It's simple. And the only thing you're tracking in the 50-30-20 budget system is what you're spending, right? You're not tracking anything else. So if you only put 20% towards your spending, that's what you're tracking, not anything else, because everything else already had as a job, just by the simplicity of the math. So 50-30-20, I highly recommend it for simplicity reasons. Now, like I said, it didn't work, fortunately, with our income, but when it did, it was really nice because all I had to do was break it down and that was it. So there's budget system number one, the 50-30-20. Second, the envelope system. It's popular. It's ever famous by Dave Ramsey. And this one helps you reduce your spending. If you are a spender, cash envelopes is where you would like to be. It also works well if you're trying to pay down debt. Cash envelopes help with that as well, because you are allocating a certain amount of money to each envelope from your budget, and that is it. This does require a lot of maintenance, actually, cash, because you don't have a paper trail like you would if you use a debit card or a credit card. So it is very demanding that you track all of your cash expenses. But like I said, this is popular. It's cute. They have cute envelopes. My Etsy shop does them. It's good for paying down debt because you can allocate the money where you want it to go. And then it helps reduce your spending, because cash is something we don't use a lot, but when you have it and your brain starts to kind of rewire itself to something tactical like cash and spending and stuff, it's really good to reducing that and kind of changing your mindset on spending and stuff like that. So cash envelopes are really good for paying down debt and reducing any kind of spending, especially if that is something you want to accomplish, is reducing your spending. The next one is the pay yourself first method. And this one is where if you have a goal of saving money first, this is where you would do it, is the pay yourself first system. And then you would use the rest of the money to cover all of your other necessities. I've never tried this one, but this is really good if you have a retirement that you want to try and save for, an emergency fund you're trying to accomplish, and then you just use the money left over to cover your necessities, your bills. So this is what you call a reverse budgeting system, and you pay yourself first. And you get to decide how much that is. Whatever that savings amount works, whatever contribution works, is what you set aside. So you pay yourself first, that set of money, and then you use the rest to pay off your bills. And this one also is very simple. There's not much tracking because there's only one goal for this one. Let's say that one goal is retirement. You want to, hit your max for the year, then that's it. So then you're just using that, and that's all you're tracking, is where that savings is going. So it's super simple in the tracking department, which is really nice if you're craving something simple. And then the famous one and the last one is the zero-based budget. And this one is very demanding as well. This one requires you to sit down and allocate every single dollar to nothing, to where you have $0. And this one is a lot. This one unfortunately works the best for our budget. It's a lot of work, but if you're someone who is very detail oriented and you need to see where everything is going, the zero-based budget is very popular, and it gives you great insight into where your spending is going. So I highly recommend this one if you're detail oriented. If you're looking for simple and quick and just get it done, this is not it. It gives, like I said, every dollar an intention, a deliberate job. You know where it's going and stuff like that. So, and this is a good one that works really well with the envelope system. I think Dave Ramsey is really popular for that zero-based budget and the cash envelope system. And both of them are very detail oriented. So keep in mind when you're choosing that in your budgeting system. So you will have to track every expense in a zero-based budget. So another thing to consider, as I have mentioned, is how much time do you want to spend on your budget? Is this something that you want to automate and you just kind of want to check it off for 15-20 minutes? Or is this something you want to sit down, enjoy a cup of coffee with, and see what's going on? Because each of these require a set amount of time. They're not, some of them are not quick, some of them are. So definitely look into what kind of time management you want to set into your finances. I always say you want to spend time with your finances, but how much time is really up to you. Like I said, unfortunately, we have to do the zero-based budget, and that one requires me to at least sit down for 30 minutes and delegate all of our expenses. But when it comes to tracking, I have a very simple tracking method, so it's very simple. I do it at the end of the day, and that literally takes me 5 minutes. And then it's just into the categories that I already have, and it's done. So the tracking gets easier the more you do it, but for a zero-based, it does take some time to see where your money is going. On your budget also depends on where you're at with the relationship in your money. If you're someone new to this, it's going to take a long time. You will find yourself spending hours. You will spend yourself thinking about all your finances. So, but if you're someone who's a veteran and have been doing it for a while, it could take 6 months, could take 90 days. You will build a system yourself that your finances just become like the back of your hand. You know it, you're doing it. So it all depends on where you're at with the relationship in your money. If you're just getting started, expect to spend some time with it. For someone who's intermediate or has been doing this for a while, you should have built a system that comes fairly quickly to you. And then also, lastly, I think what you want to do is how you want to keep track of your spending, your expenses. Do you want to do it digitally on an app, Every Dollar, YNAB, Excel? I'm not someone who's really into the digital kind of tracking. I've tried it. Google Sheets has a good one, and I tried it, but I really like pen and paper, and that's the other option is pen and paper. But this one, the pen and paper option is really good for retaining information. And so if you're someone who wants to change your finances and you need to understand it, I would highly suggest pen and paper. There's just more of a connection there. But there's nothing wrong with digital either. Sometimes people retain information a lot better digitally. I'm just not one of them. So those are your two ways of keeping track of your spending. And there's many ways to do it. There's tracking expense trackers for you. There's expense trackers, there's apps. You know, I literally just started with binder paper, like a little notebook, 8x11 binder paper notebook. And that was it. I mean, now my system's a little bit more pretty and maybe could be a little complicated for some, but it works for me and I like it. So I start simple too. There's no need to go out and get all of these workbooks, Financial Peace, none of that. Just start with a notebook, pen and paper, and your last month's bank statement. That's all you need to get started. So those are the budgeting systems. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any more questions or you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, as you can see, at House of Adriana. And there I'm a personal finance enthusiast as well as lifestyle. So I like to share anything and everything, but I have a main focus of personal finance. So I hope this helps you. I wish I would have had this video before anything. So good luck to you. I think my next video might be getting started on your budget. I gave you a quick little so anyways, give this a thumbs up if you like it. As you know, I'm trying to grow my channel, so any comments or thumbs up are appreciated. So until next time, I will see you then.